and he came in and he woke me up and he laid on top of me.
Imagine going to bed tonight and having to lock your bedroom door out of fear. Fear that you might be attacked in your sleep by your own child.
My goodness, Molly is certainly growing up.
All right, we're gonna do Bleach. This is X of the Dragon here, Drippy. We're here for our second album review.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Hope you enjoyed X of the Dragon. We got like 74 hits, and we love all of them. So
I haven't had sex that entire time that we posted the video.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that. So, Bleach, I mean, the title says it all. It's just, you know, silver and black. I mean, it's very, very dark. I mean, bleach can mean two different things. I mean, three different things. It can mean a cleaning product.
Keep still. Don't shift around.
It can mean bleaching your needle before you do a little of the opiates here. And
Oh, thank you. I'll proceed directly to the intravenous injection of hard drugs, please.
or three, you know, it's what you do with your hair when you're a punk rocker. You know? But Bleach is it's a very excellent record. Debuted May 15th, 1989. I think. Am I right? Am I close?
May have been June.
May have been June. So it might have been June. Produced for around $600 by Jack Endino.
Yep.
Endino. It's
at Reciprocal Studios.
Reciprocal Studios in Seattle, Washington, USA.
They run Sub Pop.
Sub Pop, subterranean pop. Bleach is pretty much what Nirvana is to me. I don't know about you, Drippy, but it's basically the Beatles go to hell. So, I mean, it's a good way to describe the songs on the album. It's just, I remember seeing the cassette at our friend John's house. And apparently he bought it before Nirvana Nevermind came out, because our friends from high school... It's a very, Nirvana have a song on Incesticide called Aero Zeppelin. It's very Zeppelin-esque, Led Zeppelin-esque, and I would also have to say much like that great band Black Sabbath, fronted by the British drunk guy, Ozzy Osbourne.
Clearly an influence.
Clearly an influence. But, so Bleach is oh, thank God, we've got a copy here of the 20th anniversary edition here. Am I right?
That was a couple of years ago.
Hey, Drippy, could you fix the depth of the Pixies poster a little bit, maybe? Or,
no,
it looks good. It looks good.
It's kind of keeping with the grunge theme.
What's wrong, Oscar? Something wrong with this system, that's what's wrong. I don't think that two single men living alone in a big 8-room apartment should have a cleaner house than my mother.
I love doing these videos, man. I don't have much of a life, so I live vicariously through my friend here, Dead Rockstars.
The meat is tender.
He's toying with my bald spots.
I hate to say this, but this place is getting to me. I think I'm getting to fear.
Apparently, there's a guy named Jason Everman who was on this record. Was he even on the record, Drippy?
He was not on the record.
He was not on the record.
But he was on tour with the band.
Go on.
He's second guitar player. They didn't dig him very much because he used to do a metal pose. You know, like a head bashing metal pose, and they were very punk in terms of their outlook. And so they didn't like him. People didn't like him, and they kicked him out. And but they put his name on the record when he was joining just to make him feel a part of things. Huh. Now he's a Navy SEAL, and he kills Muslim children.
This is one job I don't envy you, Colonel.
As you can tell, medication, the alcohol is still a factor, as it was in the last video.
As you can see, Drippy's drinking a beer and on meds. I'll be on cannabis again hopefully next month. considering I can't find a job and life sucks. But
I'm beginning to sober up, and you're scaring me.
Onward through the fog here, my good man. As you can see, I got my Las Vegas shirt on, and I'm in my comfortable attire. When I do the song reviews, I might switch hats. I really, and also the way Cobain's name is spelled here is Kurt Cobain with 2 Ks. I'm not sure what that's going for, but
well, you remember he was just a kid, man. He was like 19.
About this album a little bit on you know, the evolution of metal on VH1 to give those guys a plug. But Jack Endino's talking about it. But yeah,
what do the songs remind you of, man? What do they make you feel? Does it bring up your childhood? Does it fucking remind you of high school?
Now let's you just drop them pants.
We're gonna get to the individual songs later.
Oh shit!
They're great. They're great songs. You're like using that damn word again. But you know, they're very good songs.
Exceptional songs.
Exceptional. You know, Blue and Floyd the Barber's deals with you know, dark surroundings from childhood and being touched by people when you don't want to be touched. You know.
Oh, Piglet, you're right. People you see every day might want to touch you.
About a Girl, which is very Beatles-esque, and the Beatles Go to Hell. School, which is it just reminds me of School, man. Junior High and Love Buzz, which is a cover of who?
Shocking Blue.
Shocking Blue.
I think they were a Dutch band, maybe. Or...
Negative. No, Love Buzz. We went over that. Shocking Blue and Paper Cuts. We've all had those. Yeah, sadly, I slaved for the university like this guy here, old Drippy here, for 7 years at a book factory, and paper cuts were just a normal thing for me. I had to load paper and deal with paper at a book bindery. It was very traumatizing. But Bleach worked during that period, although I wasn't really familiar with this album until after Nevermind, sadly, and you know, and then I saw the concert, and then we bought the back Incesticide and Bleach. Negative Creep is definitely a great song, but you know, it's an overview, man. It's about being stoned, and Scoff is about being drunk. It's all about. You want to talk about the song? Bring it over to you.
Good evening. I'm very pleased to be here today. I want to talk about a man that needs no introduction. His name is Julio Iglesias. I'm sorry. We're here to talk about grunge rock. goddammit. So, as my attorney there said, Bleach was released in 1989 on Sub Pop, which was then about 2-3 years old, and it was in the height of a little band called Mudhoney. And they had released Touch Me, I'm Sick, and some other fine songs. Absolutely brilliant band in its own right. And there were plenty of other bands around. There was the Melvins, there was Soundgarden, which sounds very different than what it was when the MTV days. Nirvana's Bleach. Actually, you know, some people say that Nevermind was really the poppier album. This one was more rocky. He got pushed by the folks at Sub Pop to make a more rock album. He was really into noisy Butthole Surfers kind of stuff. They wanted it to fit more of the Mudhoney style. So anyway, I think it's a great album. Criminally underrated.
Opinions.
Blue. Now, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to blue. This, because obviously I'm being way too serious. Blue, he does things like with the tenses. Like, he should have said, now, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to blow. I would like to blue? But it's weird, and it kind of works. It kind of plays with your head. It's because he was really into retarded people.
Let the eagle soar.
And people who had brain seizures and, you know, UC employees, basically. People who couldn't function. And let me tell you a little bit about that.
But all you can see is the tip of the iceberg, the present, the tedious here and now.
She has just zero class when it came to the fine drinking establishments in Albany. And anyway, it just all kind of blew.
You know what I'm gonna have for breakfast?
What, lemon pie?
I'm gonna order a big plate of blueberry pancakes with maple syrup.
We're going to play you a little clip of Blue now, a fine song, along with some visuals that will hopefully help you hallucinate, maybe make you crave Snickers bars in the middle of the night, perhaps get you into midget porn. Floyd the Barber. This is one of the really the most awesome track. Well, not the most awesome, but it's a very awesome track. Many of you younger people probably don't know this, but Exit and I grew up with a lot of old sitcoms from the 50s and 60s being replayed. We didn't have very many choices. And one of them was The Andy Griffith Show. Which was this sort of quaint little America where everything's okay, small town, and it's the South, and they're really not lynching black people, and, whatever. In other words, total bullshit. But Floyd was a particularly innocuous haircutter. And so it's kind of a cool song to turn him into a sicko pedophile. It's punk rock, but it's also a little bit more wordsy. But Kurt really captured something, at least for me, about the late 80s. Just sort of a feeling of basically bullshit going on, and what all good art does, just capturing the reality of things. People now seem to be into people like Justin Bieber, or I don't know, even the indie shit just doesn't do it for me. Not in the same way, not even close.
Oh, I'm back. We're going to Floyd the Barber here. The song always reminds me of a traditional barber shop. The hot towel, it felt so good, man. And just the shave, the traditional shave. I got one of those maybe back in 2005 when I got back from India. We've all had, to quote a great Kansas song, questions about childhood. We've all had questions about our childhood, and just memories and dark memories. And, this song kind of hits home, because, I had some bad things happen to me when I was a kid,
Kansas.
I'm Kansas, I think nothing really bad happened there except the whippings from my stepfather.
What about the rooster?
Jim Nickel and the rooster picking on me. Floyd the Barber, and the way the song, it's just like a plane crashing. I'm a shave, dun 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 dun. I'm ashamed, dun 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 dun. And then it's just badass, man. So I just like that song.
Stay in my town.
About a Girl is probably the most conventional sort of poppy song on Bleach.
This book contains some of our forms and procedures. Study it a while, and then we'll start you on your first assignment.
But it's kind of a cool little song. I really like the acoustic version of it better on the Unplugged. This was about his girlfriend, Tracy. At the time, she lived in Olympia, which is a place I spent some time at. And let me tell you about Olympia, okay? Olympia, I moved up there to go to school in the mid-90s, about a year after Kurt died. And it was so effing fucking cool to be around Riot Girls and fucking see fucking Bikini Kill in downtown Olympia, Unwound, and just the vibe was still happening. I'm sure it was better in the early 90s, but shit, there's nothing like that now. And, you know, it's fucking... We went to see Zeke down in Oakland, a great fucking Washington punk band, just hardcore, faster than shit. And people stood there like they were all, dealing with some colon cleanse. Ridiculous.
You are correct, sir.
Anyway, but About a Girl, and if we seem a little subdued, you have to realize that where Urge Overkill is a great band that makes you want to do, like, they're up. And they're fucking like a life-affirming. But Nirvana's about the depths.
I'm certainly in favor of those things. Harmony, leisure, fun. Who isn't?
But how can we manage them?
I have my own childhood issues, but we'll get into those later. Anyway, with About a Girl, I like it when he says, I can't see you every night for free. That's all about this thing where she'd ask him to get a job, and he would try to get out of it by saying, well, I'll just go sleep in my car. And that's not something I've ever tried with a woman. I think that at this point I'm going to start getting some cats, maybe a grandmother's sweater, and you'll probably see me on the news soon. Anyway, check out About a Girl, both the Bleach version and the Unplugged version.
Good
call. The Unplugged version will make you cry.
Yes, sir. So this is X of the Dragon here with my take on About a Girl, which is the third rip-roaring track off of Nirvana's album Bleach. Yes, sir. So About a Girl, yeah, like Drippy said over there with his Nirvana t-shirt with a smiley face. The Unplugged version is just as good as the rip-roaring studio version. My connection with this song is... it's obviously the hit off the album beside Love Buzz. I mean, those are the two big hits on the album, man. I mean, the thing is, you can call them hits. Once we worked at a movie theater, and there was this beautiful woman there, and sometime before Cobain died, and when we saw him in concert, which was December 31st, 1993, January 1st, 1994, I wrote the lyrics down to this song, or what I thought were the lyrics, before, like, the internet had everything and anything on it, and I gave them to her, and she kind of smiled, and, that was it. Also, though, I wrote the lyrics down, and after Cobain passed away, I went to the cemetery there, and
I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong.
I think I burned the lyrics. I wrote a poem about Cobain and burned them, and it was, very, very fulfilling. It was just a way to exit the, man. But yeah, so About a Girl is a great song. Yeah, I mean, it was It's just I mean, the whole solo at the end is just great. I don't know why people say grunge music is depressing, because, I mean, if you see it as depressing, you're missing the point. It's so much more than that.
I don't want to go to school, Mom. Please don't make me go to school. Oh, God.
You want to stay home all your life and be a dummy? Is that what you want? No.
School. What a great song. Cobain, I think he dropped out of high school a couple of times.
Yes, sir.
I think he dropped out a couple of weeks before he graduated. He did not do well with authority. Unlike my friend here and I, who are corporate shills all the way.
The line moved very fast, and soon Phil was inside.
Kurt, yeah, he had a lot of resistance to authority, like most good young punk rockers. And I can't imagine, I don't know if you've ever been to Aberdeen, Washington. I've never actually been up there, but I mean, Olympia was rough, but Aberdeen is like God's asshole covered in manure. It's a logging town, it's rough, and I can't imagine going to high school there and being even a tenth as sensitive as this guy. And then having his parents fight and split up and shit. I mean, you know, the thing about fucking Nirvana for a lot of people, like the Dragon and me, is that we came from broken homes. You know, our parents were from the 60s, and they just had fucked up marriages, and, you know, my parents argued all the time. And Kurt, I mean, other bands obviously had done stuff like that, and it's not like the Sex Pistols hadn't happened in '76, but Kurt, he captured that sound, almost like the sound of dysfunction, being homeless, kicked out. One other thing about school, though, according to some of the fine books and things you can read online, which all may be full of shit, School is at least partially a song about having to play in front of the important Seattle bands of the day and feel like he was being judged, and it was just so, like he's saying, I'm in high school again, I'm going back. Nirvana, I think, was well regarded, but they weren't considered as hip as Mudhoney, which really, or even the Melvins. Kurt was great, but he was kind of a more conventional songwriter, verse, chorus, verse. Hey, I mean, you know, On a Desert Island, In Utero, Bleach, Nevermind, those are ones that you want with you to help keep away the coconuts.
When I lived in Kansas, you know, and or just even like later on in like private school or Albany High School, and I got in trouble, and there was no recess, man, because I would get in trouble or I'd fall asleep, in Mrs. Carlock's chemistry class, first period, when I was a senior in 1992, 93 at Albany High School, and she'd make me stay later, or I'd have to go to detention. And this is what he's talking about, how school sucked, about being in school and detention, and just, hey, won't you believe it, man? It's just my luck, I have like the luck of the Irish or something.
That's how you pay me back, you ungrateful little Franny. Your heart's as cold as a wet Christmas.
It's like a potato famine. I mean, this song is just, it's a short song, it's a great song. You just have to listen to the words, and we always thought he said, I'm in my school again, but I guess the lyrics are, I'm in high school again, which is pretty much a nightmare for most people, unless you're pretty well adjusted and your parents were normal. And
one must have a delusional view of the world and of his place in it.
My parents were drug dealers and slackers, and sponged off the government and whoever they could sponge off of. So luckily I'm still here. But this is a very nice song. It's got some very subdued solos, and it's very short. So, I think you should like this song, because I like you.
We're your friends. We're not like the others, man. Really.
No more of that talk, or I'll put the fucking leashes on you, understand?
Love Buzz. Yeah, this was a hit. I think this was actually the first single off the album. It, if you watch the Fine documentary about a son, or about a son, Kurt Cobain, it's a good documentary, and he talks a little bit about pulling over the side of the road with his girlfriend the first time they played it on the...
I really wanted to like it. It was like a different world. I was like all of a sudden listening to something from a different planet.
Evergreen college radio station. I think that was pretty cool. It's very simple, I guess. I've never really heard the Shocking Blue version of it, and but it's kind of cool in the way he screams. That pretty much expresses love to me. I mean, I've only been in love once, and when you're at that point where you're just like, do you feel my love buzz? It can be kind of a desperate undertaking, redheads do that to you. But it's kind of cool. It's got a neat little Arabian that cool little bass line. We should mention Chris Novoselic, who was the bass player at this point, and then he was Kurt's best friend, and they played together all through Nirvana. This is pre-David Grohl. They had Chad Channing on the drums, who had a very different drum style, which worked cool for Bleach, but probably wouldn't have worked as well for Nevermind or In Utero, which had that sort of driving Grohl thing. We won't talk about the fucking Foo Fighters. I mean, at this point, it's the same thing as what Journey was in 1985. Okay.
Love Buzz. Is there anything more that needs to be said about the song? With the token Middle Eastern song, which is a demo that's on the box set with the lights out.
Taliban, yeah.
Taliban. 2004 it came out. I think the Offspring.
Rambo wrote with them, and they tried to free things, but oh wait, that's wrong. That was fantasy.
Hey, I just saw Rambo. It's in Northwest, huh? It was filmed in
First one was up in Washington.
It's a great movie.
The first one.
The car flips. Anyway, we're getting off track. It's got that.
We'll talk about when he goes to Vietnam and tries to like put backboard
the people upstairs. Screw them, man. Screw the people upstairs.
Because it got put some fly tape on you.
Hey, listen. I mean, this song. It's got the Middle Eastern token Middle Eastern beat that the Offspring rip off and use on their album "Keep Them Separated," which is come out and play off of their '94 Epitaph second album they did called Smash. Anyway, so Love Buzz was a cover song of that band he mentioned earlier called the Shocking Blue from 1960.
Something, I think it was in the 60s or 70s.
Yeah. So it's a great song. So we're not very good at research, but we're going to move on to the next song because it's King's territory here. Apparently we lost the now there's a Nirvana diary here. So the next song is going to be Scoff. No, Negative Creep. No, wait, Paper Cuts.
Paper Cuts, God damn it.
Get straight.
None of us know how to read. It was... Okay, height. As you can see, that's a mosh pit. That's what a real mosh pit looks like, guys.
Yeah. Great principles do not live from generation to generation without being nurtured, without being kept vigorously alive.
Blink-182? Yeah, that's not the real thing. That is the thing. Mosh pit. Mosh pit. This is my favorite song on the album, and I like it. It's a really dark fucking song, but it's based on a guy who Kurt knew in high school who was like a drug dealer who'd supply him with pot. But apparently this guy, when he was a kid in Aberdeen, had been raised for a couple of years in a basement or an attic with his siblings, and the parents just kept them in this horrible conditions. They had to go piss and shit in the corner. They'd have hose them down. They'd bring them some food. That's what this song's about. There's some heavy shit on it, and you know it's and then in the middle of it he goes Nirvana. It's kind of ironic because it's the exact opposite of Nirvana. It's absolute hell. And this guy who was the drug dealer, I mean, you know, barely functional after growing up with something like that. I mean, my parents screwed up, but they never did anything like that. I mean, it's just, I mean, how you live with knowledge of those kind of things, and then you go to fucking work. You know, and they ask you to put it on, man, that you're supposed to smile and pretend, and it's like, have you seen the world?
It's a shite state of affairs to be in, Tommy, and all the fresh air in the world won't make any fucking difference!
Check out the Gluey Porch Treatments by the Melvins. It's their album from '87. You can hear a lot in Paper Cuts about Paper Cuts of the Melvin sound. Now, Kurt actually knew the Melvins from high school, and he auditioned for the band, but he wasn't good enough yet. They were like a year or two older, but the guys from the Melvins were the ones who spread punk rock around Aberdeen. At least that's the way I understand it. I could be totally wrong. But the Melvins are fucking still great live. They're 30 years old. Seen them a few times. They're fucking brilliant. Gluey Porch Treatment.
This by far has to be my favorite song that is not a hit. I love Buzzer, About a Girl. This is a rockin' number, man. Sorry to do a little Dick Clark there, I'm like, I wish I was like in my own age at all.
Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication.
This is, it's just about being just tormented, dude, and like people see you as like a creep, but you're a negative creep, and you're stoned, man. You're like, and Daddy's little girl ain't a girl no more. I mean, what's he implying? Mr. Cobain, what are you implying? This the driving guitar, the shoddy drumming by Chad Channing, the heavy bass line by Chris Novoselic. This song, we used to have a friend named Bill Pitzer, this old guy back in the mid-90s. You remember him? He would drink beer and he'd go, we saw Nirvana, and he lived at my dad's for a while. I lived in the flop house. I almost just hurled there, drippy. That's a sublime term. We're going to talk about them some other time. But
check out the video on the Delaware House on YouTube. On the Loose's YouTube.
It'll be on this channel, the Delaware House.
Said flop house in question.
It's the flop house in question. But yeah, the song, he would always say that line, from the song when I played Bleach over and over. Oh, do we have it? I think I had it on CD only, but I don't think I had it on cassette, like John Johnson. He would always say, I think I have a cassette still in my safe of Bleach that my friend gave me, Tony El Nasto, the Nasty Boy. I am. But the thing is, he would always say, Daddy's little girl ain't a girl no more. Daddy's little girl. King, how do we go to the next song?
Wait, hold on. Just about the Daddy's little girl, girl no more. They got a lot of flack in the Olympia, Seattle music scene because Mudhoney had put out a song called Sweet Young Thing Ain't Sweet No More. Before this, and he kind of copped a little bit of the lyric, and he got in big trouble. That song's amazing. This song's amazing. Shit, man. The girl's never fucking a little girl anymore. After about 12, she's on pills or drugs, at least when we were growing up. Now maybe things have changed. I don't know.
You cool, man? Like how?
Creeping Death. In my eyes, I'm not lit. In my face, it's not over. In your room, I'm not all over. In your eyes, I'm not worth it. So I left a comment on YouTube about the song, and then someone there was like, well, I just left a comment about Negative Creep live when they were playing. Remember they were doing that on YouTube, and they were like at a Tower Records, you know, and they did some songs off Bleach. Well, I said like the great songs on this album are like Negative Creep and About a Girl and Love Buzz. But then someone's like, what about Scoff, man? They commented, what about Scoff?
Well, it certainly is a pleasure to meet you, Derek.
And he's all, and I was like, oh wow, it's a really good song, you know.
Oh no, you're not bothering me, Derek. Far from it.
I mean, just these songs on this album are all about like getting stoned on marijuana and drinking a lot of alcohol, man. I mean,
there's nothing I would rather do than just stand here and chat with you.
I mean, the cover, I mean, the colors, it's like a simple beer can. I mean, it's like silver and black, you know. It's just.
Oh, I'm not being sarcastic.
Yeah, man, it's. I'm not
read some
really
lyrics,
talking
man.
about.
Read some lyrics.
Give me back my alcohol.
I can't help it.
Give me back my heal a million, kill a million, heal a million, feel a million.
It's made things very difficult for me.
Heal a million, kill a million. Directions to a vacant lot.
Hey, where are you going?
God, I did this all wrong. Drippy, do you have any thoughts on Scoff? Because I don't know what else to say.
Come back. I really want to be your friend.
I like the line, in my eyes.
I'm not
lazy.
Yeah, see?
In your eyes, it's not over.
What is...
It's great.
What...
it's probably about some relationships. Or
what did AllMusic.com give this album?
Only 3.5 out of 5.
They like the first half, not the last half. That's it. Okay. Play the next track. Wait. Bank. King, you talk about this thing. I don't say that. I don't say that.
Sunday swap meet is a battleground.
I'll talk about it.
I always pictured the song kind of about a couple at the swap meet. Maybe, all he's got are the cigarettes he keeps close to his heart. She's got the photographs close to her heart.
All sound of me and despair.
I don't know, just a big battle couple at the flea market. There was a lot of flea markets in the Pacific Northwest. I don't think we'll have much to do. It rains a lot, and you just kind of want to shoot yourself.
Well, that's a rather simplified suggestion of a complex mental process.
All right, look, let's keep this under 30 minutes. It's like a pizza. Now, the swap meet, when I lived in Kansas back on the farm, see, in the 1984, my mom met my stepfather, this jackoff named Jim Nickel, and he dragged me to Kansas 2 years later, 1986. Kansas is the second largest state of slaughterhead cattle. Thanks, Drippy. But we would go to swap meets every weekend, and we would trade or buy animals and sell animals. I mean, it was just... It was fish heads. It was like a barn there, man. We had rabbits, chickens, ducks, geese, goats, cats, dogs, ex-wives,
Chinese girls,
ghosts of Kurt Cobain.
Tied up.
But a swap meet is somewhere where you sell and buy animals. I had Rats because I like the 80s band Rat, who Drippy doesn't like. But they put out their first 2 albums were produced by Bo Hill, who was Milton Berle's cousin. Anyway, we're going to go to the next song because...
That's how it's comfortable. It's how my
We're doing Mr. Mustache now. Mr. Mustache. I don't know. He talks about being a eating cows.
Cutting out is done slowly to prevent milling of the herd, which causes loss of weight.
I'm not sure where he's going with that. I just totally don't know what's going on. This is freaking me out, man. The Dragon's Mask is a great song. It's a great song.
The straight backs, short legs, and full bodies that make heavy meat producers.
You still got my Kansas shirt on here. Kansas had some hits, Dust in the Wind. And the mask hurts. It hurts bad.
Brands are created from the fancy of the owner. Numbers or initials may serve, or the brand may be suggested by some useful, everyday object.
But Mr. Mustache is just one of those head-scratcher songs. You're going to see on the end of the record because the tail end of the record isn't that great. Am I not right, Drippy? It's not that great.
I like that one, man. I like all the songs.
You like all the songs? Okay, well...
It's like it's a triggered child.
It is.
Throw it out in the wind just because it comes out with Down syndrome.
The mask back on! So, anyway, as you can see, there's not much to say about this song. You have to scrap the interview. Look here. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. The camera's your friend. And if you have anything to say, Drippy, you're on.
Sure, yeah.
The dragon is here. Merle and the dog is out.
The animals are singled out and shuttled into another group and are driven into the corrals.
Hi, Dad. Hi, everybody. Hi. Just coming around with kids. Did you take your heroin? Mr. Mustache, I think it was a song, had to do a little bit with the Olympia elitist punk rocker types who were very into vegetarianism and doing shit like that, and Kurt was sort of saying, hey, I eat cow, I'm not proud. But then he was also talking about all the fuckers he went to high school with, the Mr. Mustaches, the macho guys. We all had him, man. There was this one guy in my fucking PE class. He used to just go up to me and go, hey, you like Nirvana? You like Nirvana?
Sitting here, you know what I'm saying, walking down the Ave with my man, Gelby, you know what I'm saying? What's up? Say what's up, bro. What's good, man?
Fucking bastard with his big pants. He was a white kid who wanted to be part of the hip-hop explosion that was happening then. I don't see why people have to be mean. I've had bully problems even in my current situation, but those are being rectified due to some calls to back east to the mafia. Anyway, Mr. Mustache is an A-plus song. And we're going to have a little video now. Hopefully that'll make you go insane.
Trust your instinct. Luke, go with your feelings. This is another great song. I just, Your Eyes, Teacher Said. It's just, there's a lot of songs here about school, man. How old was he when he did this?
He was like 19,
20, 21, yeah. It's all about being tormented by teachers and classmates and people who don't care about you.
He's on heroin by then.
He was on heroin?
I mean, he'd done it by then.
Oh, boy. He was intravenously, or?
I think he was doing the whole young 9 years.
That's rough. That's rough. It's just the late 80s, you know, is when the music started getting better, you know. When my life started getting better, although I was living in the middle of America in Kansas, God, I was living there. Things were getting better, you know. I was turned on to better music, although I didn't really discover Nirvana. I might have heard about them, but I didn't really discover them until '91, until that video broke on MTV. And yes, I am using rock and roll quotation marks to quote that Dane Cook comedian. Well, yeah, Sifting is a great song. I mean, AllMusic.com said the album kind of trails off toward the end, which is kind of true, but he just rambles on.
I like this song.
All right, how long is this going to go on?
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Don't! 7 times you repeat this. Don't have nothing for you. But, yeah. So this is a great song. I don't know what else to say. The next few...
Kind of maybe a little slower than some of the other songs, you know, more... reminds me of The Big Long Now on Incesticide.
The Big Long Now.
Find the truth. Test it in the light of past experience.
Well, yeah.
Kind of has a Zeppelin-esque background.
Sifting is a great song.
And, of course, Malaria.
Guess this is the time for me to explain my hypocrisy.
This is another song about creeping death. Listen to that guitar. Not that I know anything about how to play guitar, but this is this reminds me of when I was in Kansas and I went to my second school there in the middle of a town of 100 people, Argonia, Kansas, Sumner County. Circa 1986 to December, November, January of '87, when my stepfather decided to abandon me and my mom in a field, in a wheat field, and go back to Washington or Richmond, wherever the hell that asshole went. Sorry. The principal was a real jack-off. They called him Scratch because he'd always walk around like this. At Argonia grade in middle school, he'd walk around like this and he'd grab his crotch occasionally, like, just, they called him Scratch. And,
What reputation? You're just an ignorant,
inbred tumbleweed hick.
He was a real dick, and he didn't like me because I was from the city, dude. You know, and that's why people.
He was a big cheese.
He was a big freaking cheese, man. That's why people picked on me, man. I wish I had this record when I was 14, but by then I had my own car and I was listening to music on my Nintendo. Things were getting better, but I mean, I was fully unaware of Nirvana's prowess and supremacy in the rock and roll world. What I'm trying to say is, once I was being chewed out by this fucker.
You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in.
Multiple times he would chew me out, take me in the hallway, and this hot chick, Rebecca Mock, walked by. She was kind of short. Her parents were kind of rebels. Their house burned down, but they had a Toyota Previa. Most people only drove American cars in Kansas in the mid-late 80s. What I'm trying to say is, I rolled my eyes at him like this. I went, you know, he was talking to me, and I rolled my eyes at him. I went, when the girl walked by, I went, and he freaking grabbed me and shook me, man. Fucker. Anyway, that's a big cheese, man. That's like your supervisor or some a-hole you don't like. The other thing to say about that song?
You know, I enjoy brie. I like a good cheddar.
I'm more
German
into provolone.
I don't know if I need it big. I mean,
provolone.
You know, I'm personally a grower, not a shower myself.
All right, man.
Downer. Probably couldn't see that. Downer is the final track on the album. It was also used on Incesticide a few years later. I think I remember vaguely. So I read a book about Nirvana when I was in high school because I was just a total fucking poser.
Poser, man.
I was a total nerd.
Downer. It's a weed, man. Weed.
Anyway, he said something like this was his attempt at a Black Flag song. This is not the song that's playing right now because we're technically really feeble, but here we go. Downer. It's really pessimistic.
Black
it's
Flag.
really
Black Flag.
Black Flag. He said it was like his Black Flag song. It's really fast. It's more of a traditional punk song. Still, you know, but man, if you're in a bad mood and you turn this on, I mean, it's just.
You see, there's nothing to do anymore. Everything decent's been done. All the great themes have been used up, turned into theme parks. So I don't really find it exactly cheerful to be living in the middle of a totally, exhausted decade where there's nothing to look forward to and no one to look up to.
It's beautiful. I mean, this stuff keeps me going sometimes, you know. And I don't listen to this all the time, but you know,
it's not depressing music.
If I ever home and maybe have some sort of an E. coli or intestinal virus, a song like this can really help you. Anyway, so this is Bleach. What else can we say? We're a little subdued, but you have to understand that Exit here, he works very hard in a parking lot with some squirrels and apparently some black women. I work in a library. Less said about that, better. And my neighbors apparently.
The neighbors are angry because we're doing album reviews in an apartment.
It's 8:30.
It's 8:30. I mean, yeah, problem, but yeah, apparently we have a problem.
Anyhow,
cool, man. That's great.
We're gonna do something else next time, and we want you.
We need your input. People aren't leaving comments or thumbs up, or you are. You're not leaving enough.
We know you're out there.
If you want,
we know you're out there.
If you want us to review Whitney Houston, we will. I mean, seriously, we will.
If you want us, a couple of fucking
if you want us to review the movie Ishtar, I mean, you put Beatty and Hoffman in the desert. You know, I thought it'd be funny. Let us know. Let us know what you want us to do because we're here to entertain you.
Perfume.
Oh, look at those lips. Look at those teeth. Look at those clean teeth. Actually?
Yeah, Jack Russell.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, like...
I'll call this the dog humping video near the end.